So we're having some trouble with our dryer. We noticed there's water coming out of the back of the dryer, running onto the floor, like condensation, but it's 90 degrees, so it should not be condensing. So I came out here to investigate. This is the vent, and it's running right now, and there is no air coming out. So first off, that's the grate that keeps all the critters out. It was jammed in there, and you can see all this like nasty, gross stuff. The flapper's not opening because there's no air. If you want an example of how not to run a dryer vent, it's in here. Let's see. Well, so you can see I've disconnected it because it was full of water. You could hear the water gurgling. There was a loop right here, and you can see all that water that poured out in nasty, gross lint. That was connected there. That's all wet in there. It's disgusting. And that's not my only problem. Follow it back. There's another thing there, and you can see it dripping. That's all water coming out of the bottom of that thing. And that's just because it's not insulated at all down here. Basically comes through the floor over there. Really hard to see, but so it just runs in here. It's cold, you know, if we're in the dryer like at nighttime or whatever, the water condenses in here, fills that loop, and then the air can't get through. So right now that is full of water right there. The air's not making it out. And so there's no airflow, and so the water backs up and just drips on our floor. So I think I'm gonna be redoing this. I'd like to redo it with solid pipe with a bit of a drop across this space, and I'll insulate it so that we don't have this issue again. In light of the dryer vent problem, I could just rebuild it. It goes through the wall here into the closet on this side of the wall, and then through the floor, and then all the way across and out, as you saw. But I think we can do it better. So we're actually going to move. Eventually we want to move both of these, but right now we're just going to move the dryer over to here. This here is an exterior wall, so we're going to vent straight through that wall right into the outside. It'll be a super short thing. Basically, so these are old heat pipes for the old maybe steam or hot water radiators they had. They're not in service, but I have about 6 inches to the right of those pipes before I run into a part of the foundation. And then to the right of that technically is it's kind of like a crawl space under there. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to extend the dryer feed wire over here and come up just to the right of these pipes. And then I've got some conduit, and I'll just run along the baseboard and then up a little bit to get the dryer outlet on that wall. And then, like I said, we'll just vent straight through the wall. So that'll get us a better dryer placement. We won't have 20 feet of flexible dryer duct in an unheated, unconditioned space. That's just going to cause problems. And it'll actually free up a bunch of space in the closet over there, since we won't have the dryer duct running through it. So this is a win-win all around. I think eventually maybe we want to turn this room into a kind of a mud room, because we do have a door right here. Door doesn't function right now, but it could with some work. So if this was like a laundry room, mud room, might be kind of nice someday. This is step one. We're not going to move the washer right now, but we do have space, and we could run drain and water lines and everything, but that's a much bigger project that we just need to get the dryer functioning. I'm going to drill the hole for the the conduit to come up through. Like I said, I have about 6 inches here, so I think I'm just gonna go like a couple inches over. And maybe I'll go a little bit farther over. I don't know. I gotta think about this because eventually we want to have the washing machine here, and we need to have space for the drain. These pipes are no longer in service, so maybe we'll take these out and run the drain pipe, enlarge in one of these holes and run the drain through there. Not sure. So I think I'm safe just kind of drilling like here, and I should be on the proper side of the beam down below, and I think we should be safe with the future plans. And we're through. Now that we're through, you can see there's 2 layers of flooring there, with a layer of tar paper in between. This upper layer is really in tough shape, but you can actually see this is probably the only spot in the whole room that has any finish on it, this very corner right here. So at some point this floor was probably nice, but then it's hard to tell what's under it, if it's like a pine subfloor or something. It's definitely not plywood, but it looks to be a little bit coarser or softer wood than this top layer, which is probably maybe a fir or something. So yeah, just some interesting info. This box is going to go here for the dryer plug. We basically matched what was over there in terms of height. And then this mark here is where the vent is going to go outside. I think it's going to clear. It should. And then that'll leave room over here for all the washer plumbing to go in at a later date. Once I get this mounted, I've got to mount the junction box downstairs, and I'll run the wires through, and then we can move the dryer over. Doesn't look very level, does it? I used a level.
Well, must be really out of level.
It's super out of level. Oh, cool.
We won't really look at it very much.
It's horrible.
I'm gonna hold my camera a little bit crooked.
That's awful. Alright, I gotta redo that.
You can't redo it. You already have the anchors in.
I know, but what am I gonna do?
Doesn't matter. It's behind the dryer.
It's not very secure. Whatever. Alright, I fixed this. I couldn't let it just be terrible. It's much straighter now. And I changed the screws I was using, and I added 2 more, so it's nice and solid. So that's much better. All right, I've got the conduit coming through the floor. It's not attached to anything right now. I just needed to get it run approximate, and then I've put in a junction box over here, and I've cut the feed for the dryer. So I'm going to just put some wire nuts on this guy. So the feed is still there. We can use it if we want. but it won't be connected. And then I've got this one coming from the breaker, and this is my pull wire with my my collection here. This is just aircraft cable that I happen to have. It actually works pretty well. I don't have a real fish tape, but a little bit of grease and it goes right in. So I'm gonna pull my wires through and then get this hooked up. I forgot to take video, but we fed the wires through the conduit, and then I just wired in the plug, fastened the conduit in a couple spots here, and then I'll show you the bottom side. All right, and then we got the conduit fastened down here. It runs over into my junction box, and ooh, this is the feed from the breaker. I've got that tied to here, and I've got this one just dead-ended inside the junction box. So if you needed to or wanted to, we could make this live again, but right now it's not live. So the electrical part's done. I'm about to drill the hole for the duct. It's gonna be right there. I'm gonna drill the inside first and see what's in this wall, and hopefully nothing causes an issue, and then we can drill the outside. There's insulation in there. That's good. I'm gonna see if I can cut out that fiberglass so I can see all the way through. Let's see if I can get you in here. There's OSB over there. This section of the wall was actually part of, there was like an additional room back there at some point. And so I'm guessing that when they took, oh yeah, you know, I can see it here actually. This was the doorway. You can kind of see right here, it's kind of rough. And then they did a terrible sheetrock job. You can see the tape line. And then here, I believe, was the doorway into that other room. So I know on the outside it's new claps. Glad to see we have OSB. So this will be no problem getting through here. Excellent. My pilot drill poked through. I'm gonna just come from the outside and finish it off. Definitely not gonna be able to record because I gotta hold the drill with two hands. And there we are. One big hole in the side of our house. There's the inside. Slide that dry vent through, screw it off. I'll caulk the outside. I think we'll be all set. There we are. Looks pretty good from the outside. Just gotta move the dryer over and I think we're ready to give it a test. All right, I tested the dryer, works good. Final product, I think it came out pretty good. On to the next project.